Oi Ling. I'm the co-founder of The Hearth, which is a women's space here in Queen's Park in northwest London. The Hearth is very much about supporting women on their personal journeys, right? So we're never prescriptive or didactic about what women do here, but it really is a space for women to feel comfortable in, to feel held in, and very importantly for them to focus on themselves. It was just always this feeling that things were kind of piling in on us on every direction, which led to this feeling that we just needed that proverbial Virginia Woolf space of our own to, park all of those societal pressures out and just focus on ourselves and, just be in a loving and supportive space without having to worry about what we were wearing, who we were trying to please or not please, what our obligations were. We could just park a lot of that stuff outside. That was actually inspired by an anthropology textbook that I read at university, which was called The Heat of the Hearth. It was written by a British anthropologist that studied some Malayan fishing village, and she found that women there define kinship, like relationships with other women, through shared experiences and not through bloodlines. So by living, mourning, feeding, grieving, parenting, birthing together, you could effectively become sisters or aunts or related to each other. And that felt very compelling. Just space to breathe. So many women we knew were going through something or the other, that they really needed help and support. It wasn't just us, or it wasn't just a feeling that we were the only ones having these issues, but that every woman that we knew was going through something in some shape or form or the other. So we do hold a number of circles here, right? Women's circles across different topics. So we just recently launched a menopause circle. We had in the past like an IVF and fertility circle. We've had an entrepreneur circle. We're looking at a writer's circle. We also hold a death cafe, which is actually really a circle to be talking about death and grieving. So with all of these circles, it's the idea that you're on a journey together with a group of people, with a group of women in our case, and you're all sharing experiences, you're learning from each other's wisdom. Honestly, the women in the space have inspired me. What's very inspiring is that they're very normal, everyday women. So yes, there's a lot of amazing role models that have done amazing things, authors or public figures out in society, your OBEs and your MBA. But what I am constantly amazed by are just some of the stories that I hear in this space. There was recently a woman that received an adult diagnosis of ADHD who happened to be sitting next to another member who's an ADHD expert, neurodivergence expert, and it was a wonderful thing to just listen to what that woman was seeking and trying to understand about her life and the acknowledgement and guidance she was getting from the expert. I've had lots of conversations about societal issues like gender pay gaps in tech entrepreneurs and female founders. That was a conversation I had recently, listening to that landscape. I've had conversations, a lot of work things, right? So any kind of inequities in the corporate world or for female founders. It feels so tiny, and maybe some people feel it's insignificant, but one of the loveliest things that we do in here is cake and chat. They're in a space where they can breathe a sigh of relief, that they can turn to the person next to them, have an interesting discussion. You don't feel that you're being attacked or that you have to be guarded in some way. I think something that's quite important to emphasize about The Hearth is also that we call ourselves a women's space, right? We're not necessarily a mother's space. And we try and make that distinction, so when you come into the space, this is actually a no kids zone. And I'd say half of the women in here are mothers, but the other half are not, either because they're not at that stage or because they couldn't or didn't want to have children. But the idea again is that this is a women's space, and you are seen as an individual, as you're a woman when you're in the space, and you're not necessarily a mother. For most of my life up to a certain point, I was never conscious that there was a difference. I felt as capable as anybody, and there was never really a gender lens in any way up until childbirth, right? Up until becoming pregnant and then becoming a mother. I have actually been pregnant then screwed, like a documented job offer that was taken away after I told the company that I was pregnant. It's that sense of powerlessness, right? That things feel very complicated because everything is interrelated. Oh, do I complain? And how do I complain? Do I make this an official legal complaint? Do I sue the company? But the feeling like you'll never work in this town again, or oh, she's a troublemaker. We've been talking a lot about toxic masculinity, that it's important that you can tell your boys that it's okay to cry and to be connected with their emotions, that they don't have to be macho. Yeah, but again, strangely enough, these are sometimes conversations I need to have with my daughter as well. And have we pushed the girls too far in the opposite direction, right? Have we told them too much about being strong? And sometimes I think I also have to remind my daughter that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's still the sense that it will all work out. No, because it's just your life path and it's just your life journey. It's just your personal journey, right? So if you did things differently, or if you didn't experience something that was good or something that was bad, or if you didn't make this choice or that choice, you would still be on a personal journey of some sort.